stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Have a roll call vote, starting with Jim, please.
Fuel Nation present.
That's right here.
Bill Lawrence, present.
Tom Paul here.
Let's do, we have a new trustee. Pardon? We have a new trustee to get the oath of office. So would you please step up here, Mr. Bates?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mark.
Over here. In the Circuit Court of the 12th Judicial Circuit, Will County, Illinois, in the matter of the Plainfield Fire Protection District in the county as well as the state of Illinois. Oh. And that's right. Repeat it for me.
Okay.
I,
Robert Bache, a resident of Plainfield, Illinois.
and elect to reside within the limits of the Plainfield Fire Protection District.
Residing in the limits of Plainfield Fire Protection District.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as trustee of said Plainfield Fire Protection District according to the best of my ability.
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as trustee of the said Plainfield Fire Protection District according to the best of my ability.
Subscribed and sworn before me this day of December 8th.
Subscribe and sworn to me before me this day of December 20.
Okay, so you signed both copies, I've signed both copies. Okay, legal.
One's for me. Thank you.
Okay, we got one other thing. We have your badge of office here.
Oh,
Where is it?
thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, you need to turn. You better get another one. There you go.
She's good.
You'll be in the newspaper now.
Oh,
Thank you. Yeah, come up here, Bob.
just get my stuff back.
We got a chair already for you here. So sorry. At this time, we'll have an open forum for the matter of the public. Anyone here on the floor? Yes?
Hi, everybody. Good evening. My name is Vicki Polito. I live here in the district in Walker's Grove, and I wrote this down because I have a couple little facts I have to cite, and I don't want to get them wrong. As many of you know, right now there's a piece of legislation in the U.S. Congress, the Zadroga Act for first responders, and this is something that was introduced back in mid-April. It hasn't been moved on at all except to be moved to a subcommittee on the Constitution and Civil Justice in mid-May. Right now it's being held up and sort of held hostage for a vote. And specifically, it extends those health benefits that were given to all the first responders that we had who suffered illness and injury in responding to the attacks of 9/11. So I wanted to ask that people maybe here consider, their families consider, the board, maybe, you know, the firefighters, the union guys can talk about reaching out and look at your brother and sister organizations and ask that our reps specifically, our very local ones, would be Mr. Hultgren and Mr. Durkin and Mr. Kirk and probably Mr. Foster. But you can reach out to anyone. Certainly, you might want to reach out to Mitch McConnell of Kentucky and Paul Ryan, who is now the speaker, and ask them to please put H.R. 1786, the James Zadroga 9/11 Health and Compensation Reauthorization Act, up for a vote. This is something that, you know, many of you know. I know a lot of you either know someone or some of you were involved yourself after those tragedies. A lot of you dove in to help as well. And we're looking at firefighters, policemen, paramedics, people who have died since, people who were horribly injured, people who are dying of horrible illnesses right now. Some of them that they got because they weren't necessarily told the truth or didn't always care about the truth of the danger of what they were going into. And I think if we don't stand up nationally, I know it was mostly a New York and New Jersey sort of concern, but as we know, first responders from all over the country went out to help. If we don't stand up, we're saying to first responders, and in an age where we're facing tragedies that seem to occur to us all the time, we're saying to them that you go right ahead and keep doing for us while we just dump on you. It's completely wrong. It's disgraceful that as a nation we can't take care of these people a little better, and it is completely politically motivated why we can't. There's a nonsense story out there that they're not doing it because they can't find a way to pay for it. Anybody who pays attention to what goes on in this country, especially in Washington, knows that when they want something bad enough, there's always money to pay for that. You know, the wars that we're in right now, we don't got money to pay for those either. So please think about reaching out to Congressman Hultgren, Senator Durkin, Senator Kirk, Congressman Foster, anyone you can think of, and ask them to work on putting up the Zadroga bill and getting it voted on while we can still help some of these first responders. Thank you.
Anything else from the floor? Sure.
Ms. Redd, may I ask you to please redo the roll call for the record
Oh,
of attendance of the board of trustees?
oh, yeah. Okay, roll call again, starting with you, Jeff.
Jim Lehman, present.
Doug Shreve here.
Bill Warren's present.
Tom Beige here.
Tom Paul here.
Yeah, thank you.
May I also ask that we proceed to item number D in old business?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, item B in old business is the review and approval of the 2016 health life dental and vision coverage for employees.
Good evening.
Yes. Representative Sue.
This is Mr. John Dodd, who's been with us the last 2 years and so forth. John is going to basically give the presentation on the health insurance and with the life insurance. We've been able to work on that adjustment of the renewal and help bring the price down a little bit. And I'll take care of the dental afterwards and so forth.
Okay, the first thing I passed out just now is the first thing, just some handouts from, it's actually an email that I shared with Chief Riddle and Sherry November 30th. We negotiated a renewal with Blue Cross Blue Shield originally at the end of October, beginning of November. Blue Cross had proposed a 10.5% rate increase. We were able to first look, get it down to 8.85, and then the final revision is to an increase of 7.25%. That's conditioned though upon Plainfield Fire Protection District also placing its group life insurance contract with Dearborn National, which is a subsidiary of Healthcare Service Corp, a sister company to Blue Cross Blue Shield. So I just want to first of all explain. So if you look at what's going on with the healthcare costs in this country, this is what I would call a trend increase. We're seeing typically 6.5% to 7.5% year-over-year increase for 2016. So while we're not happy about a rate increase, we're happy it's not some kind of ridiculous 20% type of increase. So at any rate, our recommendation is to move forward. That there's no plan changes in these plans. We're just moving forward with the plans that are currently in effect. Does anybody have any questions about the insurance proposal?
We are still, Chief, we're still in, as part of the negotiation.
And insurance is a component of it.
Yeah.
There's one other handout that also, this relates to the life insurance. Okay, on the life insurance, actually, I want to have you go past the email, go to the secret football, and go to the first attachment. It says group life and AD&D insurance rate premium comparison. The first sheet shows what the current arrangement with the standard insurance company as far as the classification of insurance, amount of coverage, number of people covered, rates, and premiums. And then what we did with Dearborn National, we were very careful, Dean and I had a couple of different calls with representatives to make sure that they're matching our benefits as far as scheduled benefits, and we're convinced that they are. And so the second page is actually just the same information, except this relates to the Dearborn National proposal and the rates and premiums being quoted. So the good news is by what Blue Cross Blue Shield is doing is they're trying to leverage their relationship with you, providing medical insurance by, they offered a 1% discount off our rates if we were to write our coverage with Dearborn. So it ended up being a little bit more than 1%. That's how we ended up with a 7.25% rate increase. Again, conditioned upon replacing the coverage for life insurance with Dearborn. So does anybody have any questions about that? Chief, really? Sure, you have questions? It's pretty simple, actually, not much. And we have some paperwork, subject to your approval. We would then follow up with Sherry, make sure all the applications. There's really no requirement to engage employees in enrollment. Everyone's already enrolled with Blue Cross. And as far as life insurance is concerned, there will be new forms for beneficiary designations, enrollment, all that. But they will accept being Dearborn National, if someone were to pass away in the future. If they don't fill out a Dearborn form, they'll accept whatever form you have on file, presumably the standard form that you have on file for that. But then again, we recommend, Dean and I recommend that from time to time you probably ask your employees to review their beneficiary designation, make sure everything's current, because believe it or not, Dean and I deliver checks to beneficiaries who the person didn't really want to get the money because they never got around to change the beneficiary designation. That's one of those details sometimes people just kind of say, yeah, I need to figure out, but they never quite get around to doing it. So that's all. I think you have something here? Yes.
First of all, I want to thank you for everything you've done for us in the past. It's been very kind and appreciate it. And it's always been an honor to serve everybody here.
Yeah.
We've been very fortunate on this side too. We've been able to look at different plans. Present plan we've had now for about 3 or 4 years, and it's with the Emeritus. When we had other dental plans and vision plans, some of the plans didn't suit everybody, and especially the vision, because when you look around here, we've got maybe a few people maybe wearing contacts, another group might be wearing glasses, and another group may not having glasses at all. So when we looked at going to it a couple of years back, they were able to come up with a special program that gave us up to $2,500 up front for vision and dental, but $250 of that could basically actually use for vision, but we want to. Now last year, if you remember, the board approved things called rewards benefit. Reward benefits actually increased the benefits again, where we actually increased everything by about $100. And then also last year was involved with actually a hearing program. When you look at the renewal package, we actually had just a slight, less than 1% decrease, but it's nice to be able to say that there was no increase at all. And we were able to reduce the cost down. When you look at the next programs, it talks about the plans itself. And the plan is very unique because we've had some of the employees actually use it for LASIK. With the program itself, as an employee reaches different plateaus in years, 1 year, 2 years, 4 years, there was opportunity to have $500 per eye for LASIK. And then there was a benefit of additional $100 on top of that. And on the plan itself, which another rich plan is that if the employee doesn't use all the benefit up every year, they will let you roll over so much into next year, meaning we start with 2,500, but as time goes on, they can go up to 3,500 and go to 4,500. And what that would help an employee, for example, is that if somebody had an accident or developed a disease, and all of a sudden they had major teeth extracted and so forth, they could be sitting on maybe $5,000, $8,000, $10,000 that could actually help with maybe implants or what. And so by itself, we've got the vision, we've got the dental, we've got LASIK, we've got the rollover benefits and so forth, we've got the hearing, and it's underneath the normal price when you separate those three plans together. Overall, I think the employees have been okay with it, at least okay with it, we're happy with it and so forth. But there has been no change in costs, so we're just letting you know what's going on with the plan itself. Any questions?
Well, I have a question. Can I enroll this plan? I guess the answer is no.
Any questions?
Well, okay. Well, thank you very much. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We need to make a motion to approve it. Yes. It's up to all the senior share.
Yes, September to year one. And then Dean, scheduled to come out to all the stations for open enrollment. We're gonna send messages out to the, once you guys approve it.
I'll make a motion that we approve the 2016 health, life, dental, and vision coverage for the
Second on that.
I'll second the motion.
All in favor, by roll call vote, Jim, please.
Jim Lincoln, yes.
Doug Street, yes.
Bill Lawrence, yes.
Bob Bass, yes.
Tom Paul, yes.
Motion is carried. I guess we can go back to the beginning of our agenda.
You know, thank you, buddy. Yeah. This is the two schools. Thank you. Just clear.
Thanks, Dean.
Thank you. Congratulations, purchase. Thank you, everybody, thank you.
You need to hear, thank you.
I think it'll be good.
Try your insurance.
Weren't sure.
Okay, item number 5 is correspondence. Yep.
Just a couple of nights. For the blessing you are, thank you. I'm eternally grateful to be alive, thanks to your efforts. And unfortunately, I can't read the signature. Who this is from, but the crew that was involved in this particular call were Ryan Johnson, Matt Jolly, Rob Underhill, Steve Kelly, Brian Gallup, and Jim Newman. Dear Chief Riddle, last night firefighters Karen Kelly and Craig Masico came to one of our Boy Scout meetings and assisted with the merit badge requirement. They came on short notice and spoke to our scouts about national disasters and mass casualty incidents. They're both very knowledgeable and professional firefighters. We sincerely appreciate their time. Thank you for your dedication to our youth program. John Gall, Assistant Scoutmaster, Troop 13.
These items will be placed on file. Thank you. I'll entertain a motion for the approval of the minutes of the November 23rd meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. Entertain a motion to approve the treasurer's report of November 2015.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Second, to approve the treasurer's report of November 2015. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion is carried. Also entertain a motion for the payment of the bills as presented.
Payment usual, Mayor.
I'll second. Let's take a roll call a little bit, so mark that in. Jim, please.
Jim Lean, yes.
Doug Shreve, yes.
Bill Burns, yes. Manish, yes.
Tom Paul, yes.
Motion is also carried. Old business, we have, we opened the budget hearing from November 10th. Are there any questions?
Any other questions from the audience?
Pardon?
Just ask if there are any other questions from the audience.
Yeah. Are there any questions from the audience?
The budget hearing was held, but you left it open until tonight when you were full board. Then you can make a motion to close the
Hearing?
hearing.
Motion to close the hearing on budget ordinance number 2015-1208A.
So moved.
Second? Second. Moved and seconded. Roll call vote on that, Tom, please.
Tom Paul, yes.
Yes. Bill Burns, yes.
Doug Shreve, yes.
Jim Lean, yes.
That motion is carried. We have an ordinance number 15-1208B. That's an ordinance for assessment for levy and assessment taxes. Motion to approve.
So moved.
I'll second that motion.
Moved and seconded. Motion to approve ordinance. Roll call vote, please.
Tom Paul, yes.
Bill Burns, yes.
Doug Shreve, yes.
Jim Lean, yes.
That motion is carried. Thank you.
Here's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to sign two certified copies of the budget. And I need signature by the treasurer of the company, the president, on the third page, and I need the secretary of session. Both documents.
Directors.
I'm trying to see.
I'm good for it.
Yes.
We're going to do levy next week. Aye, aye. There's a motion for, who made the motion for the budget? Who did that?
Well,
We do that yet, or we just sign it?
Yeah,
That's it? It's done, okay. Roll call vote.
you want to check these?
That should do it. Pretty good meeting. Okay, that's one. Okay, the next thing we're doing is This is your levy that you do every year to raise taxes. There will be a motion in a second to adopt the levy. And then a roll call vote.
So moved.
Second.
Move in second to accept the levy. Certificate of compliance with the taxation in accordance with Chapter 35, 200-1855. Roll call vote on that, please. Don?
Tom Paul, yes.
Rob Bass, yes.
Bill Barnes, yes.
Doug Shree, yes.
Jim Lean, yes.
Motion carried. You have a signature on this, too, Jim.
That was a good sign this one. This one. Thank you. No, you continue signing, I'm sorry.
That's what I asked.
Sounds like a conflict of interest. You signed twice?
Back page 2, okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you put this twice? It was the last one you were signed.
Did you get this one?
No, Jim, you signed. As of for the bond, yes. That's a marathon.
That completes the levy and the budget.
It does.
Okay,
Once again, we've made it.
thank you.
Now, I have, the next three documents are abatement levies, are abatements of levies. You have done, you borrowed money, and what you did is a process of it to get a more secured and guaranteed rate is when you borrowed the money, you filed levies with the county, essentially. In fact, that'll be done with one that you just did. And unless the district is in absolute dire needs, national emergency or something, you have to abate that levy because the agreement is that it's coming out of your general funds. So we have three abatements to give to you so that I can file those with the county clerk. Otherwise, if I don't file those with the county clerk, probably by March, but we do it with the levy so that we remember to do it each year, then they'll show up in your tax bill and you're going to say, what's going on? So I'm going to need three separate motions for C, D, and E to abate the levy filed in association with the bond. Okay, so let's do a motion for C.
Is that still
151208 C.
I'll make a motion for the ordinance number 15-1208C.
I'll second.
Need a second? Who was first?
Okay.
Yeah. I'm looking at it. Okay, we have a motion that's been moved and seconded. We'll have a roll call vote. Item two, Jim, please.
Jim Lean, yes.
Doug Shree, yes.
Bill Barnes, yes.
Bass, yes.
Tom Paul, yes.
And there's three of these. The first one is an original that you signed, and this is president. Actually, the last one.
We gotta do two more, right?
Yes. Yeah, you can decide, we have done signing.